Hi everyone, a very good afternoon to all of you. I hope my voice is clearly audible and I am visible to each and every one of you. All right, friends. Friends, welcome back once again on the YouTube channel of Career Launcher. I'm Gaurav Gupta, and today we are going to discuss, or we are going to basically continue this series of sessions in which we are discussing the previous year paper questions of arithmetic. Right now, if you remember what happened in the last class, that is session number 5 of the previous year question discussion, we have discussed the questions from simple interest and compound interest from CAT 2023, CAT 2022, and some questions of CAT 2021. Okay, so like wherever we have left in the last class, we will continue our discussion from that. Okay, and we have discussed some questions on simple interest, compound interest, and I told you that we'll be discussing some more questions on simple interest, compound interest in the next session. So today it's the next session, and I'm going to discuss some more questions which are based on the concept of simple interest, compound interest, and a question of installments that appeared in one of the previous year papers. I believe that was from the year 2018 or 2019. So we'll be discussing all these questions in today's session. Okay. Now, friends, once again, I remind you that solving all these questions will help you in understanding, in knowing about what actually the paper pattern of CAT is, what is the level of difficulty when it comes to the particular topics that we are discussing. Okay. Now, since some of you must be in the initial stages of your preparation, so that is why I am picking a topic one by one, right? Okay. So again, like if you have noticed that I have even divided percentages in 3 different parts. Percentages separately, profit and loss separately, and then simple interest, compound interest. Okay. So I am helping you with the preparation, the way you attend your basic lectures when you are attending any coaching. Okay. So when you prepare in this manner, then you will get to understand each and every topic very closely, and you will be able to basically focus more in understanding the level of difficulty, the actual level of difficulty that is expected to be seen in the actual CAT examination. All right. So let's start, or let's continue with our discussion on the previous year paper questions of simple interest and compound interest. So this is the first question for the day. Now, this question is from CAT 2020, slot number 3. Okay. Now, the question is slightly calculative. So it says that a person invested a certain amount of money at 10% annual interest, compounded half yearly. Okay. After 1.5 years, the interest and the principal together. Now, this is the language that CAT is using. So they could have mentioned that the amount became 18,522, but they were happy in mentioning it separately, that the interest and the principal together. What is interest and principal together? It is amount only. Okay. So they are saying that interest and principal together became 18,522. The amount in rupees that the person had invested is how much? So basically, we have to find out the principal. So we are given the amount and we have to find out the principal. And this is the actual question of CAT 2020, slot number 3. Okay, right? So I'm giving you again 1.5 minute. Be careful about the calculation, manage this calculation properly, and quickly post your answer. There were no options that were given in this question. So that means एक छोटा सा hint मिल जाता है हमें. Okay, if options are not given, that means the answer will be an integer or especially a natural number, right? So this hint is what we have right now with us कि answer जो होगा वो एक natural number होगा. Okay, so quickly do the calculation and tell me what will be the answer. All right, Sankalp, very good. Any other answer? All right, Timothy, good. Timothy Samuel and Sankar, two answers already. Come on, people, don't sit idle, yaar. I have already explained you the basics of simple and compound interest in the last class. You are preparing somewhere, okay? So you must have prepared for this chapter. So you must be knowing each and every basic about the formula and the logics of compound interest. Apply it and give me an answer. If you are sitting in this session, make sure that you are doing the calculations, you are solving every question. Don't just sit idle. Now here, we'll apply the very simple formula. Amount, wait. So amount is equal to principal bracket 1 plus rate of interest upon 100 raised to the power number of times the calculation is being done. Okay. Now important parameters of this question. A person invested the amount at 10% annual interest. So 10% is the annual interest, but it is compounded half yearly. ठीक है ना? So 10% is the annual interest. So interest for half year will be 5%. So rate of interest that will put in the formula will be 5. Okay. Now the amount is invested for 1.5 year. In 1.5 year, how many periods of 6 months are there? Half year. The calculation will happen after half a year. Okay. So अगर every half year के बाद calculation हो रही है, so 1.5 years में calculation कितनी बार होगी? 3 times. So the value of n will be equal to 3. So in this formula, r will be equal to 5 and n will be equal to 3. Okay. Now amount is given to us, that is 18,522, and that is equal to principal bracket 1 plus 5 upon 100 power 3. All right. So the value of principal will look like this: 18,522 divided by 1.05 whole cube. Okay, 1.05 cube. So 18,522, I have to divide it by 1.05 cube. Okay. Now, if you don't want to take help of calculator, okay, so 1.05, how can I write 1.05? 1.05 is 105 upon 100. And if I take out 5 common, it will become 21 upon 20. Right? So this calculation can be written as 18,522. Okay. And in the denominator, I will have 21 upon 20 whole cube. So 21 cube and 20 cube, like this. All right. Now, if you remember by any chance, if you remember the value of 21 cube, it will be very easy for you. Okay. So I'll help you. 21 cube का value होता है 9,261. Okay, 9261 is 21 cube, or leave this value of 21 cube, right? And you can do the calculations. यहाँ पे 21 से cancel कर सकते हैं, then again 21 and then again 21. Okay, so if you are looking for manual calculations, you are most welcome. The answer will come out to be 16,000. But we want to score marks in CAT. Okay, and one very important thing is we'll be able to score more marks if we are saving time in every question. Okay. Now look at this calculation. This is 18,522 divided by 1.05 cube. I don't have options with me so that I can find out the approximate answer, right? So one thing it should be there in your mind that we are given calculator, on-screen calculator in CAT. So this type of calculation, there is no harm in opening the calculator, on-screen calculator, and doing it. So आपको करना क्या है? 18,522, you will have to divide it by 1.05 3 times. So 18,522 divided by 1.05 divided by 1.05 divided by 1.05. Okay, and you will get 16,000 as the answer. Fine. So there is no harm in using calculator. The on-screen calculator is given. It's just that you will be saving time and your answer will be more accurate. In case there were options given, then we could have estimated, we could have used the approximation techniques to mark one of the answers. But here, in absence of options, no harm in using calculator, right? So go ahead, use calculator, answer will be 16,000. Okay, am I clear? So that was question number 1. Pretty simple it was. You just need to put values in the formula and you have secured one question in CAT 2020 slot number 3. Okay, let's continue our journey and look at question number 2. Question number 2, CAT 2020, slot number 2. So one question was there in slot 3, one question is there in slot number 2. So question says that for the same principal, the compound interest for 2 years at 5% per annum exceeds the simple interest for 3 years at 3% per annum by rupees 1125. Then the principal in rupees is. Now, whenever they are using this term principal amount, so that means principal. Okay, so we need to calculate principal here too. So again, 2 minutes, though the question is of not more than 1 minute. Okay. Now, if you are clear with the concepts, it is hardly a question of 30 seconds. So Sankalp, Timothy, Jatin, Shubhra, and Meghatri, all 5 of you have given answer for the previous one. I'm expecting the answer of this question as well from each and every one of you. And meanwhile, while you are solving this question, please quickly go ahead and press the like button. All right. So if you're liking this session, why not press the like button and increase my motivation? Come on, do that. All right, Timothy, first one to give an answer. Very good. Sankalp, huge difference in your answers, guys. एक बार check करो दोनों. Timothy just saying that 18,750 and Sankalp says 90,000. Huge difference. Any other student, Jatin, Shubhra, Meghadri, and other students who are watching this session, come on, yaar, solve karo, answer post karo. Now, in the previous session, I have told you that compound interest is nothing but a successive percentage change. Okay, so try and use that particular logic to make the calculations easy for this question. अरे टिमोथी आंसर डिलीट कर दिया. All right, so what is your answer? There's no need to remove your answer, guys. It's absolutely fine if you are giving a wrong answer. Fine, you are human. You can make errors. Okay, shall we have a discussion here? Okay. Now, like in the previous question, we have used a formula directly for the compound interest and we got the answer. Now, in this question, if you will use the formula directly, then it will be difficult. Like, definitely you will get the answer, but it will take more time to get the answer. So let's look at the logic that can be applied here. Okay, so let's solve this question in a logical way. Now, there are 2 instances given. The first one is compound interest for 2 years. So the compound interest for 2 years at 5% per annum, right? So this is one thing. Now, that means in the first year, my money will increase by 5%. And in the second year, my money will successively increase by 5%. Okay. So I can say that the net increase, the net percentage increase is in my money will be how much? It can be calculated by using the formula of successive percentage change, right? So I'm calculating in the first case, what will be the net percentage increase in my money? So first year it increased by 5% and second year it also increased by 5%, and it is happening successively because I have compound interest. So net increase will be 5 plus 5 plus 5 multiply 5 upon 100, and it comes out to be 10.25 percentage. Okay, now this is a very easy calculation and you can manage it orally as well, right? मैंने लिख के दिखाया है, I have written it so that you will understand, but you can manage this type of calculation orally also. Clear? So I have the net increase in money in the first case as 10.25 percentage, right? Let's talk about the second case. Second case is a very simple case of simple interest in which my money is invested for 3 years at 3%. So in the first year, my money will increase by 3% of the initial value. In the second year, again 3% of the initial value. Third year, 3% of the initial value. So simple interest, it's not successive percentage change. It is not. Okay. So first year 3%, second year 3%, third year 3%. You can add them, simply add them. So 3 plus 3 plus 3, 9 percentage will be the net percentage increase in my money. All right. Okay. Now, what is the difference here? The difference here is of 1.25 percentage. 1.25 percentage of what? Of principal, obviously. The first increase is 10.25 percentage of principal. The second one is 9 percentage of principal. So the difference here is 1.25 percentage of principal, right? And this difference in the question is given as 1125. Okay. So I can say that principal will be 1125 divided by 1.25 into 100. Very simple calculation. Okay, right? If you'll do the calculation, 1125 divided by 125 will be 9. So 9 followed by 4 zeros, 90,000 will be the principal in terms of rupees. All right. No problem, Timothy. It happens a lot of times. So the most important part of the question, we do it in a hurry. All right. So calculations is one thing. You should be very calm. You should be composed and slightly slow. Lower down your speed to do these calculations. Fine. Because you have done all the hard work in writing all the formulas correctly. You have made the expression correctly, but the mistake that we are doing is in calculation. So please don't let this happen. All right. So 90,000 is the correct answer. I don't know which method you have used, but the method that I have just now told you is the most efficient, the fastest method to handle this question. All right. चलिए आगे चलते हैं. Let's look at question number 3. Now question number 3 is CAT 2020 slot 1. So CAT 2020 slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, in all the 3 slots we have seen a question of simple interest, compound interest. So CAT 2020 slot number 1, question number 3 on your screen. Try and quickly solve this, all of you, without committing any mistake. Now read this question carefully, huh? Now again, options are not given, so it will be like very easy for us to mark or to find out to type an incorrect answer. Okay, so here we'll have to find out the number of years. Be careful. What is the reference frame from where you will have to start doing the calculation. Viru invested rupees 10,000, 5% simple interest annually. And exactly after 2 years, Joy invested 8,000, again 10% simple interest. Now this is the question of simple interest. Yes, simple interest भी पूछा जाता है. How many years after Viru's investment will their balances, that is principal plus accumulated interest, be equal? So people, you must have noticed the language that they use in CAT. So they are very clear in what they want to ask. Okay, so you will not have any confusion if the principal plus interest, that means amount is equal or interest is equal. So you will not have any confusion in that. I'm getting two answers, Sankalp and Jatin. Very good. But again, huge difference between both the answers. One says 5 years and the other says 10 years. See that double ho gaya period. All right. Is there any student who can confirm if 10 or 5, which of these is the correct answer? Or none of these? Guys, Sankalp and Jatin, make sure कि इनमें से एक आंसर तो होना ही चाहिए. Right? 10 or 5, one of them should be a correct answer. Okay, any other student? People, what are you doing? You are not able to give me an answer for a simple question of simple interest. That is really bad. Okay, so Timothy has given a third option, third one, 12. So now I have three answers, 5 years, 10 years, and 12 years. Okay, so let's begin with the calculations, right? अब कुछ भी नहीं है यहाँ पे calculations में. Look at the method that I'm using, and after I have explained, tell me, have you understood it properly or not? Okay, I'm not using conventional method, I'm using a shortcut method, a logical method. Okay? I'll be writing some of the things. Kurmi and Meghadri have confirmed 12 as the answer. Okay, so all of you focus here. You should not be taking this much time in such an easy question. How to save time? Viru started 10,000, 5% simple annual interest, and exactly 2 years later, Joy invested. Okay, so what will be the amount of Viru after 2 years? Listen carefully and then write your answer. So when Joy invested the money, at that moment, Viru का final investment कितना हो चुका है? What is the amount that Viru have after 2 years? I want amount after 2 years for Viru. Come on, post it in the chat box. I'm waiting for each and every one of you. Absolutely, Jatin, right? Jatin, you agree with that? So in the next 2 years, since rate of interest is 5% in 1 year, so it will be 10% in 2 years. So in 2 years, the money increased by 10%. 10% of 10,000 is 1,000. So after 2 years of Viru's investment, or the time when Joy invested the money, Viru's money is 11,000 and Joy's money at this time is 8,000. All right, fine. Now, what is the gap between them? The gap between them is 3000 at the moment. Okay, the gap between them is 3000 at the moment. All right, fine, agreed. Now, every year, Viru's money is increasing by 5% of 10,000. So, every year, Viru's money is increasing by 500. And every year, Joy's money is increasing by 10% of 8,000. That is 800 rupees. Okay, so every year Viru's money increased by 500 and Joy's money increased by 800, right? So, since the increase in Joy's money is more as compared to Viru's money, so gap kitna hai? 300. So, can I say that this difference of 3000 when Viru's money was more than Joy's money, this difference of 3000 year on year it will keep reducing by 300 rupees. Okay, so initially the difference is 3000 and every year since increase in Joy is more than increase in Viru, so this difference of 3000 will kept on reducing at a rate of 300 rupees per year. Fine. Now initial difference is 3000. It is reducing at a rate of 300 rupees per year. So that means it will take 10 years for this difference to become zero. Okay. So after 10 years, this difference will become zero. And this is what we have to find out. How many years after Viru's investment will their balances, that is principal plus accumulated interest, will their amounts be equal, right? So when the difference is zero, that means the amounts are equal. But the most important point, it happened 10 years after Joy started his investment. Okay, but the question is how many years after Viru's investment it will happen? So we will add 2 more years because Viru started 2 years before Joy. So we'll add 2 years to this and the final answer should be 12 years. Am I clear with this? Are you able to understand? Come on, give me a yes or a no in case you have any doubt in any of these things, any of the part that I've explained, any of the steps, please ask me. Otherwise, post yes if you are absolutely clear. Okay, so if you are giving me answer as 10 years, you are making a basic error. You are not reading the question carefully. Okay, so 10, giving the answer as 10 is a crime. If you are giving the answer as 5, fine. You must have done any calculation mistake. But after getting this value as 10, so you have done nothing wrong. You are just a little careless in marking your answer, in selecting your answer. Okay, so once again, don't repeat such things. Okay, right, Sankalp? समझ में आया क्या गड़बड़ थी? So we are not spending good amount of time, enough amount of time in reading the question. So आपने Joy's investment के बाद निकाल दिया. We should have calculated it after Viru's investment. Okay, let's move on and look at our next question. Next question, question number 4. Now this is CAT 2021 slot number 1. Now in this question, the numbers are really difficult. 806.25, 866.72, all right? And the options are also very close. 931.72, 926.929 point, 934 point. Okay, so that means it will be dangerous. It will be like harmful for you if you'll do approximations. So approximations ka to question nahi hai. If the options were far away, then we could have done a little bit of approximations, but we cannot afford doing approximations here. So that means our calculation should be exact. Okay. Now, once again, CAT 2021 slot 1 calculator, on-screen calculator was given. So I would say that if you will use calculator, there is no harm in this. Okay. And if you understand the logic, 30 seconds, maximum 45 seconds, you will get the answer. So Timothy and Meghadri, two answers. Perfect, perfect. And yes, I believe this answer is good. This answer is correct. Yes. Anyone? Any answer? All right, Sankal, the third one. Okay, let's quickly look at it. ठीक है? बहुत basic understanding चाहिए. We are talking about compound interest. The interest of first year, interest of second year, interest of third year, interest of fourth year, interest of fifth year, and so on. Right? We are talking about the compound interest. Right? So, interest in first year, total interest in second year, third year, fourth year, and fifth year. Now, if you understand the concept that, let's say the interest in first year is X, okay? So it will increase by R percentage to obtain the interest of second year. Okay, let's say it came out to be Y. Again, to obtain the interest of third year, we will increase the interest of second year by the same rate of interest, the R percentage. Let's say this is Z. Again, we will increase by same rate of interest and we will keep on obtaining the interest of subsequent years. So to obtain the interest in compound interest, we need to keep on increasing. We need to keep on increasing the interest of previous year by the same percentage. So हर बार percentage increase same होगा, right? So that means the ratio of the interests of any two consecutive year will be same. Okay, so I can say that X upon Y will be equal to Y upon Z will be equal to, let's say this is W, Z upon W, and so on. The ratio of the interest of the consecutive years will always be same in case of compound interest, right? So this is a very simple logic that can be applied in this case, right? So I have told you why it will happen. Now you can directly apply this. The question says the interest of, the interest of second year. I'll write it, second year, third year, and fourth year. So this is mentioned. So second year, the interest is 806.25. Third year, it is given as 866.72. And the fourth year, we have to calculate. So let it be X. So you can say that the ratio of the interest of second year and third year, 806.25 divided by 866.72 will be equal to the ratio of the interest of third year and fourth year. That is 866.72 divided by X. So the interest of fourth year X will be equal to 866.72 square divided by 806.25. Or it will not be incorrect. Definitely it will be good, it will be fine, it will be correct to say that the interest, the compound interest, the interest of every year, they all are in geometric progression. All right. So interest, the compound interest for every year will be in geometric progression. So now you can do the calculation. अब इस calculation को करने के लिए कितना time लगेगा? We have the calculator, we have the on-screen calculator. So if I'll calculate, so I'm using the calculator. So 866.72 multiply 866.72. divided by 806.25. Okay, so one second, 806.25. So it is 931.72. 931.72. Exactly यही आंसर आया है. Option A is correct. Okay, fine. So there is no need to get into the actual calculation. If I'll get into the calculations, so 806 up till 866, I can see that there is an increase of 60 over the initial value of 806.25. So this rate of interest will come out to be approximately 7.5. 7.5 तक तो ठीक है, but is it more than 7.5, less than 7.5? Then for that you will have to do exact calculation. So the increase is of 60.48. All right, 60.47 in fact, right? And then denominator will be 806.25. Now if you do this calculation, if you'll get involved in this calculation, it will waste plenty of time. Now since we have calculator, why not use the calculator? Okay, right? So that was question number 4. Now let's move towards question number 5. I would like to discuss the question of installments that was in 2018. Okay, so let's take that question before we will call it a day. So question number 5 on your screen, the question of equal installments. So read it carefully and then find out the answer. I'll also briefly tell you the concept of installments. Okay, so basically here the concept of past value, present value, future value. Okay, going from initial value to final value and final value to initial value will be required. We have done it in percentages. How to go from initial to final value with a percentage increase. Final से initial पे जाना है with a percentage change. We all know that thing. Okay. Now, instead of initial value and final value, if I use the terms present value and future value, now we are confused. So don't get confused looking at this. So let's read out the question. John borrowed rupees 2,10,000 from a bank at an interest rate of 10% per annum, compounded annually. The loan was repaid in 2 equal installments. The first one after 1 year and the second one after another year. Okay, right? So that means after 2 years, the loan is completed. Now, if you remember in the last session of simple interest compound interest, we have done a question in which the loan was taken and the person repaid a small amount. So it was not the question of equal installments, but once again, in that case, after 1 year, some part of the loan was repaid, and then the person closed the loan after a total of 3 years. Okay. Now, here, the person will make the payment such that the first payment he will be doing such that when he is closing the loan, the final value will be equal to the first installment that he has given after 1 year. Okay, so he will do his calculations by his own and he will make the payment in that manner, right? So the first installment and the second installment in this case comes out to be equal. Okay. All right, Meghadri and Sankalp, 2 answers. All right, now let's understand the logic behind handling these type of questions. Now, the present value of the loan is, let's say today the loan is taken, and obviously if today the loan is taken, so I can say that present value will be 2,10,000. Okay. Now, if I don't pay any installment, so in the first year, my this value will increase by 10%. Again, in the second year, it will increase by 10%, and it will keep on increasing by 10% of the initial values, right? So it will have a successive percentage increase effect every year. Okay. What if I repay something after the first year? Okay, so then the interest will be levied on the balance amount. Okay, this is what we understand, right? So now here I'm assuming that after first year, the person has repaid X rupees, and after second year, the balance again will be X because it is equal installments, right? Now, X rupees, which is paid after 1 year, right? So I can say that this money will include some part of the interest as well. At what percentage? At 10 percentage. Okay. So the money that I'm paying in future, let's say after 1 year, if I will pay it today, then what will be its value? Okay. So the money which I'm paying after 1 year, that includes an interest of 10 percentage. Okay, right? So after an increase of 10 percentage, the money has become X rupees. So what will be the present value of the money that I've paid after 1 year? So it will be equal to X divided by 1.1, right? So let's say initial value is whatever, Y, and it has increased by 10 percentage. So it will become 1.1 Y, right? Which has become equal to X. So the value of Y will be equal to X divided by 1.1. That is the initial value. Okay, which we have done in percentages properly. So the money which was paid after 1 year, if I will pay it today, okay, its present value will be X upon 1.1. Similarly, the money which was paid after 2 years, its present value will be X upon 1.1 square. All right, fine. Because it is paid after 2 years, so it will include the interest of 2 years at a rate of 10 percentage. So its initial value will be X upon 1.1 square. Again, if there would have been a third installment, which is paid after third year, okay, then its present value will be X upon 1.1 cube, right? Now, whatever is the number of installments, bring all of them to their present values, right? So this is what I will pay today. This is what I will pay today for the money which I have paid after 1 year and 2 years respectively. So the sum of these two, since my loan is settled, so the sum of these two should be equal to the present value, the present total loan. Okay, so now you can say that X upon 1.1 plus X upon 1.1 square will be equal to 2,10,000. All right, fine. So simplify this, get the value of X, and that will be the value of each of the installments. So X की value निकालते हैं. So 1.1 plus 1, 2.1x upon 1.21. I'm just taking LCM is equal to 2,10,000. And then 2.1 and 2,10,000 cancel हो जाएगा. 1 lakh multiplied by 1.21, x is equal to 1,21,000. So the value of X will be 1,21,000. That is the value of each of the installments, which is the answer of question number 5. All right. So this is an easier way of handling the questions of equal installments. Okay. All right. So that's all from my side for the day. I hope you would have understood the last question that I've explained here. In case you have any doubt, in case you have any problem, please tell me. In case you want you want to resolve any general query, you are suffering with your preparation, timetable नहीं बना पा रहे हो, studies manage नहीं कर पा रहे हो, so please leave your query, leave your doubt in the comment section, and I'll be handling those doubts in the later sessions. All right. So friends, that is all from my side. Thank you very much for being a part of this session. Please do subscribe, like, and share. Have a nice time. Bye-bye. Okay. Timothy, you are asking something. Wait, I'll stay. Okay, sir. Please don't mind me asking if experienced faculty like you give the CAT exam. Okay. Yes, 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 Timothy. So good. So, Timothy, I would love to answer this. So, Timothy, if experienced faculty like us will write the examination, like what I do, since I am writing CAT every year since 17 years. So, what I do is I leave one of the section blank so that I will not it will not affect the scores of my students, right? So I'll make sure that I'm not eating up the call of any of my students. So I make sure that I will leave one of the sections blank, and this is what an intelligent faculty will do. Okay, so fine, I go and attempt quant section, I go and attempt LRDI, but I make sure that I leave VARC blank. Okay, so that I will, my overall percentile is less and I don't eat up any of the important call of my student. Fine. So you are absolutely justified when you are asking this question, but any intelligent faculty will definitely take care of his or her students. Right? This is what all I can say. Thank you very much, Timothy. Have a nice time. Bye bye.